And so now's a great time to take pictures if you want to tweet it out. That is awesome, and we really appreciate you being here. Great seeing some experienced Q boomers as well. So it looks like we're ready to go. So welcome to our kid Q booms. Again, a round of applause. All right. So after this, we have our adult Q booms as well. So it's like be able to see contrasting the two. So up here, quick introduction. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Just tell us real quick who you are.
Okay. Hi, my name is Rylan.
Hi, I'm Nailani.
Hi, I'm Tyler.
Hi, I'm Connor.
Hi, I'm Sunrise.
Hi, I'm Ava.
And these are our contestants. You'll get to hear a little bit more about what grade they are, what school they're in, just in a second. But let's give, again, a round of applause for them. Let's get them pumped up. All right, Kid Q Boom. Let's kind of run through the details. Again, these are 3-minute mic drops. Now, as you know, for those of you who've seen the adults are kept to a strict 3 minutes. Now, of course, these are kids. They're going to do their best to be 3 minutes. They may be a little bit over. They may be a little bit under, and that's okay. So we're going to say 3-ish minute mic drops. This has been going on, I think, about kind of 3-4 years that a version of this has been going on. It started, I think, back at the CIS conference in Monterey several years ago. It was called a Student-Powered Showcase, and there's been iterations of it. Now, if you like what you see here, feel free to steal this slideshow. I can tell you we did this for one of our conferences a few years ago in my own district. I know Arcadia has also done this, so if this is something that you like, student voice, and you want to empower your students to share about what they're doing, go ahead and steal this slide deck. So kind of some of the process. One of the things the kids were doing, and shout out to Flipgrid, is they had an opportunity to practice on Flipgrid. All right, that gave them a chance if they wanted to. Now, some of them, are shy, but shout out to Flipgrid for being able to really push student voice for us. And again, you can see one of our favorite people that started the whole boom. Shout out to who's that? And Cosma. You got it here, folks. Again, thank you for Flipgrid for really amplifying student voice. So the rules, are you ready? Speakers get 3-ish minutes. All right, 3-ish minutes. They were given 7 topics to share about. Now, if you're familiar with the adult booms, they kind of speak on one topic. The kids are given a little more structure, and thus they get the slide deck to help guide them. They do not have to use all the slides, although they may. They can remove one of the slides. You can see here's an example of the slide deck. They're estimating basically keep the slide decks the same, keep the order the same, keep the text the same, add your own ideas. So you can see up here, you get a little bit about tell us about yourself, missing the mark, what is school missing, your field of dreams, what rocks and doesn't rock about school, what makes an awesome teacher, Learn-a-Palooza, what are your favorite apps, and finally, if you would like to share a personal statement, personal belief statement. So you're going to be able to really see each of the kids has taken their own spin on this, which is beautiful, and I think that's what makes this so special. They can use photos, text, graphics, no audio or video. They're allowed to skip one topic, and they can use as much or as little as they wish. If they just want to put one image on the slide, that's fine. If they want to use more text on the slide, that's fine as well. Most important part, you guys see this? Go for it and have fun. Have fun. Now, of course, what you need to know as the audience, and I told them, this is going to be the best audience that they're ever going to get, a room full of teachers with kids presenting on stage, right? What you need to know as the audience, as you know, if you present giving a 3-minute talk can be hard, especially if you're a kid, right? So guys, this is hard. It's not supposed to be easy. So we really thank you and honor you for stepping up to the challenge. Audience, we need your energy too. All right, you guys are right now celebrity status, so just remember that, okay? If you like something, audience, if you like something, give them a clap. Give them some snaps, whether it's a golf clap or a full-on clap here. Either one is okay. We're not going to limit it, even if you want to give them, of course, the round of applause. And finally, when you guys are done with your presentation, what do you say? Boom, right? And that lets the audience know that you are done sharing. Instead of saying in conclusion, you're going to say, let's practice again. Boom. All right, and so with that being said, we've given our introduction. Are you guys ready? Yeah? All right, so are you ready? Get set. And the first one we have up is Mr. Ryland. Are you ready?
Yeah. So, hi all, my name is Rylan, and I'm a student at Thomas Charter School's Leading Edge Academy. I am in 8th grade, and I live in Sacramento, California. Extracurriculars I do outside of school are karate and piano, as you can see up there, and I also tutor 6th graders in the subject math. So, missing the mark. Some things at our school that I feel we could add or improve on is the availability for different types of hands-on projects. Things like science experiments, new computers, or any project in general that requires innovative construction and design. Yes! Our school is doing an okay job at this, but I feel that if we had this change, we could improve our learning of critical thinking and push our students further. So, field of dreams. In my future, I want to be involved in innovation and design. In elementary school, they implemented these programs such as Project Lead the Way, and one of these programs it's basically a STEM-based program, which involves a lot of cool STEM challenges. Another thing that I also had was Mindstorm. Mindstorm was a robotics Lego kind of building activity where you would code on things, and it really pushes students to think creatively about what they're going to do. So what rocks and doesn't rock? What rocks is the variety of extracurriculars we have here. This allows students to express their topics and interests while still participating within the school. What's okay is the really laggy iPads that don't have much storage. It prohibits our ability to upload our videos and movies to our Google Drive. And what doesn't rock is the school food because it's the school food. An awesome teacher. An awesome teacher, I think, is someone who can control the classroom, and one who understands students from their perspective, one who's flexible, kind, and is able to let loose sometimes. This creates a balance between learning and having fun within the classroom. So, Learn-a-Palooza. So, the first thing I want to cover is the Mindstorm robots because they really encourage design and problem solving. The coding aspect also encourages creative thinking, which I really like. Little Bits is also a fun toy for little kids because the flashing lights and mechanisms that these things have allows teachers to teach their students about electricity and circuits while also having fun. And the last thing I want to go over is iMovie. iMovie is a great way and a great, easy, accessible tool for young movie developers who want to express their emotions through the magic of filmmaking and movie editing. So my personal statement. I think that our schools have taken an advancement towards improvement in this subject. But with a little nudge and feedback, we have the capability of taking our learning further.
Go ahead and take that. All right, so real quick before you sit down, Rylan, remember, you can pick, if you would like to, I can pick for you, you can pick at least one of these questions that you would like to share a little bit about. In the end, audience, we will give you a chance for question and answers.
Okay, so looking at these questions, I think I'm going to choose what is the best part of having technology in your classroom. So in our tech classroom, I think that having all these computers and different types of tools really allows us to really express ourselves through our academics and especially through technology because technology is such a great resource for teachers and students to use when learning or teaching others. So,
any other ones you want to address?
I think what makes me most excited about school is the really nice community that we have here, all the friends and all the teachers. I just really bonded with them, and it's so nice because it makes me want to go to school. I know some students don't like going to school in the morning, but it's really fun for me, and I really enjoy it.
All right, Rylan, great job. Round of applause. You ready? All right, up next we have Neilani. Here's a magical clicker, all right?
Hi everyone, I'm Neilani. I attend Thomas Charter, Leading Edge, and I am currently in 8th grade. So I think school does a lot of great things, but I think one of the things that they can improve on is flexible seating. A lot of younger children especially are very antsy and restless, and that can cause them to lack focus in class. I think that adding flexible seating such as yoga balls, bean bags, carpets, mats, things like that can help keep them physically and mentally engaged in class. When I'm older, I really want to be involved in law and debating. I feel like school helps me fulfill these dreams by having a lot of activities. One of them, such as in class, we can go on one side of the room if we agree or disagree with a statement. Then, once we're on the side of the room, we can share our opinions with our class and hear the other side's opinion, and then we can make it a rebuttal. A couple things that rock about school is the safety of the children. I feel like teachers really care about the safety of the children. I think they prioritize it very well, and that makes me feel a lot safer at school. What doesn't really rock is the personal connection between teachers and students. I feel like with a little bit more effort from teachers and the students, this can be easily resolved. What's really in the middle is the students' understanding of how these topics are going to benefit our generation and us in the future. A lot of kids, especially in math, resent it because they don't think they're ever going to use these equations and these math problems outside of school or in their lifetime. I think an awesome teacher is someone who shares personal things to personalize the lesson. I feel like when a teacher shares a personal experience, it can help create an environment where the student feels like the assignment is doable and is realistic. I also like how teachers are very nice when you ask questions. I feel like when they are putting themselves out there, when they raise their hand, they can be very self-conscious. And when teachers are very comforting, it can make them feel confident. A couple of apps that I like using during school are Schoology, Google Classroom, and Google Drive. Schoology is used throughout my whole entire school, and it's an app where you can check your grades, go through all your courses, and you can even communicate through your in-school activities. Google Classroom is kind of like an alternative where teachers can put out all of their work, students can find their work easily, they can turn it in, and teachers can check up on them whenever. I also really enjoy using Google Drive, because Google Drive, you can sort out your documents, you can file things, and if you keep it organized, you can go back and pick out a single piece of work very easily. Personal statement. Last thing I would like to leave you guys with is I think that I think school should be a place where kids want to go. I mean, no one wakes up at 6 a.m. and is happy to go to school, but I feel like the environment should be fun and caring and nice. I also think that us kids should have a say in some of the topics that we're learning about, just because nowadays lots of kids like to have power, and when they think they have power, they are more engaged. So when we have options of picking our assignments or our topics that we're learning about, I feel like students will be more excited to learn. Yeah. So,
And what do we say at the end?
Huh?
Boom.
Boom. Sorry.
All right. So, Neilani, looking at these questions, is there any that kind of stand out to you that you want to address?
Yes. I'm going to address what does student voice and choice mean to you? It means a lot to me because I feel like adults nowadays push kids to the side. I feel like they think that we don't have opinions, that we're not smart enough to have opinions, or we're too young to actually know what we're talking about. I feel like since we're up here right now talking about opinions and our opinions, it's making me feel like we are more important now. I think that, yeah. And it's really important to me because I feel like a lot of kids either push themselves aside or adults push them aside.
Good. Any other questions? Thank you, audience. Give you a chance. Anything else?
No.
You're good?
Yeah.
All right, Neilani, round of applause. All right, we are moving on to our youngest, Tyler. You ready, Tyler? All right.
Hi, my name is Tyler Bradley. I go to Mission Park Elementary School, 4th grade, Salinas, California. Missing the mark, more of an environmental focus, less single-use items like sporks, less repeating what I've already learned, more optional for challenge. Field of Dreams, supportive teachers, great principal and vice principal, learning opportunities like 3D printing, student council, STEAM showcase. Rocks, doesn't rocks, rocks. PE, art track, field trips, teachers, holiday activities, robotics, science, school spirit days. What's right in the middle? after-school programs options, time of recess and lunch. Doesn't rock, not enough music and art, not enough field trips, cafeteria food, single-use, boring requirement, technology. Awesome teachers. Make teaching fun, exciting, care about us, have fun with us, give us breaks every once in a while, allow time for fun and games, make sure we are moving a lot. Luna Palooza. I like the math, the option to make an avatar, the battles, and the rewards. iMovie. I like to make movies about superheroes. Do Inc. I like making movies with creative backgrounds like using the green screen. Personal statement. I am only 10 years old, but I already know what I want to do with my life. I want to be a forensic scientist. To become one, I need to take advanced science and math courses, be good with technology, get good grades, study extremely hard. I hope to go to UC Davis because it is close to my family, and it is one of the best schools for what I want to do. Thank you for listening. Boom.
Now, you can keep that microphone for now. Yep, go to the next one. I noticed you have your Star Lab shirt on. We were talking about that earlier, right? Is Barry Allen, The Flash, any reason why you want to be a forensic scientist? Yeah? All right, very cool. So out of these questions, Tyler, does any of those really grab you?
Yeah. Yes.
Which one?
What is the best part of having technology in your classroom? I think it is good to have technology in your classroom because it helps you learn and it is just good for your mind. Sometimes.
Sometimes? So what are some times that it's good for your minds? What are some times that it's bad for your mind?
When you're playing video games that don't teach you anything and games that are helping you in school.
So the games can be good or bad. It depends on what you're doing with them. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, and Tyler was tied with one of our other contestants on distance to come to Q Kid Booms. Up next, I would think you had a Harry Potter image in yours, right? So we got another Harry Potter fan here. All right, come on up, Connor.
Hello, my name is Connor McCurdy. I go to Grattan School, and I am a 7th grade student, and I live in Oakdale, California. What I feel I'm not getting the full experience from is Google Classroom. One of my teachers doesn't use it at all, and my math teacher rarely uses it. And for my school, I feel 7th grade and 7th math room that we should use it more. I have dreamed of being part of Future City since 5th grade, and now that I'm in 7th grade, I am doing it. Grattan has won regionals 5 years in a row, and we plan on making it 6 years in a row this year. For me, what rocks is Future City and Prodigy Math. I like Prodigy Math because you get to do wizard battles and battle other characters, but you also solve math problems, and I feel it's very educational. My Met is Khan Academy. Khan Academy, there's a lot of assignments, and my Doesn't Rock, we actually started doing this year, conditioning. I don't like conditioning it. I had two awesome teachers. They were my third grade teachers, Mr. Pinkelman and Mr. Seafelt. These are my two awesome teachers because they got along with their students, used Google Classroom, and they had an end-of-year dojo store where I pretty much spent all of my dojo points. Runapalooza, Prodigy Math, Google Drive, and SimCity. The reason why I put Google Drive is Google Drive there's a lot of educational Google apps to use, and SimCity. I started playing SimCity, build it in 5th grade, and now in 7th grade for Future City. I have the computer edition that allows you to do a lot more. My personal statement, school is pretty cool. I say this because there are pros and cons, but when it comes down to the overall experience, it's something you can hold on, and it's amazing.
What do you say, Connor?
My name is Connor McCurdy. I am 1/3 of the Tick family. Boom.
Boom. Want to go to the next slide? There you go. All right, so Connor, out of these questions, by the way, I love SimCity too. I used to play when I was a kid. It's such a cool game. What do you think? What's speaking to you right now?
What is the best part of having technology in your classroom?
And how do you feel about that?
I feel it's good to have, the best reason to have technology in your classroom is there are a lot of good apps on the computers, and you can sort stuff, and you get to use apps, and if you just have a piece of paper, you really don't, like, you can sort it, but you can't really sort it.
Seems like you got some great learning games you really enjoy playing, though, too, right? And
Yeah.
those kind of help you, and that makes it fun?
Yeah, it makes it fun because these computers in the classroom, like Google Drive and SimCity, we actually have to have more advanced computers to play SimCity because our regular laptops in the classroom, they don't have the space for it, but these laptops we do have in the classroom has enough space for it. And SimCity overall is a really educational game, and it helps you learn how to treat a city and take care of it. And then
So it sounds like that kind of goes to the last one. If you had unlimited funds, what would you add to your classrooms? Better computers, right?
Yeah, right now we have, I believe, 3 or 4, and I bought my own so I could play SimCity and be a part of Future City, and I feel we should have more computers to access these games that are really educational for the classroom, and like clubs you can have in the end of the day, because you learn extra, but you also have fun. And
All right, round of applause for Connor. Good job, buddy. All right. So our next one, call me a little biased, but she just happened to ride up in the car with me. All right.
I need notes, so.
You want me to do the clicker?
Yes.
Okay. This is Sunrise. Last name, you can guess it. Cogswell.
Hello and welcome to my Q Kid Boom. My name is Sunrise Cogswell. I attend Washington Middle School. I am a 7th grader and I live in Salinas or Monterey County. And in my family, there's my mom, dad, and my 3 little brothers, and I am also in cross country and judo. So there are 2 things that I'm missing at school. The first thing I'm missing is in some classes, we need more of a creative style of learning. So instead of being handed a paper and a pencil to write down a formula, why don't we solve it with blocks? And in science class, instead of reading how photosynthesis cycle works, why don't we see it happen? So the second thing I'm missing at my school is elaboration. In my classes, we don't do our assignments or our reports in a different way, and so I really want students to express their talents, hobbies, and creativity. For example, make a video, act it out for our project instead of writing a report. There's so many ways kids can express themselves without writing. And then the third thing I am missing out at school is more YouTube. I love making videos, and I think that it's just a great learning tool. So from what rocks to doesn't rock, I think that school activities are just really good, and they involve students a lot. So like sports, like I'm doing cross country, and then there's drama, and then we have our lunchtime clubs, and I think it's really cool. And then what I don't really like is our school uniforms, but I understand why it's there, so it's kind of like in the middle. And then what doesn't rock is we have intervention, like before lunchtime, and you just go to class, and usually a lot of kids are fast at their work, so for the last minutes, I just have to sit there waiting, twiddling my thumbs for lunchtime, so. And then what makes an awesome teacher? So what makes an awesome teacher is challenging students. I think it's just great because it pushes students and gives them an opportunity to exceed from where they already are. And I love this quote from Albert Einstein: "A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new." So that ties with challenges. It just pushes them, and it pushes them out of their comfort zone, and it makes them stronger mentally and physically. And then another trait in a teacher I think is important is to be fun and creative. Like I said earlier, I like a unique way of learning, and I want to see it happening, experiencing it, or what they're teaching us. And then the third thing is obviously being nice and caring, because that sets a positive learning environment. So for Learnapalooza, the 3 great technology tools I love using is Google Classroom, because it keeps me organized, and it just it helps me. And then teachers can also post like assignments and surveys, and I just think it's really cool. And then I love using Google Drive because it also keeps me organized, and I can do my essays on there. I have presentations on there. And then this one isn't very popular, but it's called Accelerated Reader, AR, and this definitely isn't fun for me, but I think it just keeps me on track with what I'm doing, and it gives me goals, and it helps me stay on track with my reading. And then my personal statement is, even though my school has problems to solve, school is a great place to learn, socialize, and have fun, and enjoy those great opportunities. Boom.
Good job. All right. By the way, I hadn't heard that yet, so that was the first time I had heard that. So, Sunny, what question would you like?
What is the best part of having technology in your classroom?
All right.
I think it's really great to have technology in my classrooms because it just gives me a great opportunity to express myself in so many different ways, and it just keeps me organized, and you can do really crazy things on there. You can take quizzes on there. You can just, instead of back then, at least my dad says, you had to go all the way to the library, and sometimes it was closed. And this just gives me the opportunity to just discover the world in a different way.
All right. Good job. Thank you, Sunny. All right, so last but not least, are you ready, Ava? All right.
Hi, my name is Ava, and I'm currently an 8th grader at Leading Edge in Thomas Charter School. What I think school is missing the mark on is preparing us for high school, because in high school, that's where our life begins. That's where we find a job, where we're able to drive, you may or may not find a partner, and where you decide what you want to do in life after school. And I really feel like school needs to show us the reality that you are going to be an adult when you're out of school. You have to make these choices for yourselves. And I think that school should really push and give us opportunities on finding our own path that suits our own abilities and our own skills. Because if we don't, then we're not going to enjoy it, or we're just going to do something that doesn't require much work, like being a gamer or a YouTuber. When I grow up, I would like to become an athlete and see how far that takes me. If not, I'd like to become an engineer for Disney. Athletically, school is keeping me in shape and building my muscle. Academically, it's teaching me how to work in different work environments with different people, different skills, and it's also teaching me the design thinking process, where we ideate our ideas in our groups, and then we evaluate those, and then we make any changes if necessary. What rocks about school is the social support from staff and friends, everyone's supportive, the environment and the field trips we go on. What is okay about school is the timing between each period, because we might not have that much time, or we want to go use the restroom and you guys yell at us when we ask them to start a class, or the amount of time we have for lunch, and how we all learn the same thing. Because if you're one of those students who wants to be challenged, you should have the opportunity to be challenged. And what doesn't rock about school is the exact time homework is due, because if it's due at 11:59 p.m. and you turn it in at 12 a.m. the next day, it's late and it's not full credit. And then how students don't feel exactly comfortable opening up to teachers. It's not that we don't want to, it's sometimes an awkward subject when it comes to opening up about our feelings to you guys. What makes an awesome teacher is one who explains things so well that we're able to work independently, and if we need them, they're there for us. My technology teacher, Ms. Sanchez, does a great job of this. She explains everything in one huge chunk of class period time, and then for the rest of the week, we're working on our own, knowing what to do without asking for help. Yeah. Another thing that makes a great teacher is someone who prepares us on what's to come and has us make rough draft sketches, so then when we go to the final draft, that we're not going to mess up, that we have an idea of what we want to do. And in case, if we need to, we can make any changes before moving on to the final draft. 3 apps I like to use. 1, I love to use Schoology. It helps me keep track of my grades, see what assignments are coming up or what assignments I'm missing. It's another way for me to turn in my assignments. And also, I can get reminders from teachers or any extracurricular groups I'm in. Rocketbook is another app I just started to use, but it takes a screenshot of a hard copy and saves it directly to your drive. And Google Drive's great because it helps you organize all your work, and it has many different platforms that you can use when turning in work. Overall, I think that school needs to make us realize that we're becoming adults. Once you're an adult, you can't do the same things that you can as you're a kid. In high school, it's higher stakes and more freedom. And I feel like in 8th grade, it shouldn't feel like your last year in middle school. It should feel like the maturity step of going into high school, so you know what you're getting yourself into. Boom.
Good job. All right, so I know you asked me earlier, I think. You want me to pick the question?
Yes.
All right, so let me see here. I think one thing you mentioned is just, giving you the opportunities to be challenged, right? So tell me a little more about that with, what does voice and choice mean to you? If you could have that class that really challenged you, what would that be? What would that look like?
If I could have my class to challenge me, I don't know, give me a lot of work in a small amount of time so I can see what I can do with myself, how I can push myself into as high as I can go, and how I manage to use my time socially and academically. Will I make the choice to go in with lunch, or would I make the choice to hang out with my friends? Will I take the time to stay up till 3 o'clock because I want to talk to my friends and then do my work, or will I use that entire time to do my work and then have enough time to sleep so the next day I feel good about myself and what I made.
All right. Good job, Ava. So, can we get another round of applause for all of our wonderful boomers here? All right, now this is the point. We have Miss Bradley over here is going to have the microphone. Everybody can wave to Miss Bradley over there. If you have a question that you would like to ask one of our wonderful boomers, it'll actually be not necessarily to one, it'll be to the panel, and they will have a choice, right? We'll pass the microphone down. I'm using 2 mics right now, by the way. You will pass the microphone down. If you want to answer it, great. If not, just pass it down the line, okay? And we'll go maybe 2 or 3 questions depending upon what time permits. So, do I have any questions from the audience?
Hi, you guys. I'm about to give one of the grown-up booms in a few minutes, and I wanted to know if you have any advice for me.
I think that the biggest thing is just to have fun with it and just be like really relaxed, because giving a presentation in front of a bunch of adults, especially with your teacher in front of you as well, can be really nerve-wracking, but you just gotta know, it's okay. You got this.
All right, Rylan.
Okay, so for you, I would say going into it, I was really nervous. I was telling myself, what happens if I mess up? I'm gonna mess up, but I think you just have to tell yourself that you're gonna do great, because you are no matter what, and all these people probably think that you will too, so yeah.
So in the beginning I was really nervous, but once you get into it, you'll just rock it.
I think that you need to let loose. It's not that scary, and trust your gut with what you're gonna say. Don't try to mix your words, but just have fun with it.
Lots of wisdom up here. Any other questions? Got one down here in the front, I believe. Sure. I can repeat it on the microphone. So for the people online, some of you guys are great role models. How are you going to continue to be great role models for your peers?
Just be myself.
I guess you can just be nice, be sweet, and don't be a bully.
I guess respect your fellow peers.
That's good. They like that. That snaps for you, buddy. Snaps for you. Good job. Good job.
Respect your fellow peers. Don't be so harsh, but help them out. Because if they're going through a tough time, you don't know what that tough time is. So you may want to help them out. Ask them what's wrong if you can detect something that's wrong.
I think that, okay, it's on. I think that you should do what's best and what's good, and you should be respectful even when no one's watching, because even when you think no one's watching, there's always karma, so be careful.
I think that in order to like motivate and be a role model for your peers, you want to like do things that they don't want to do, but you also want to be the first one to do it, and you want to take opportunities like this to show that, hey, you can do it, and if I can do it, I can do it, you can do it too.
Keep that in mind for you teachers that are here from the area. You can have your kids be up here, the same thing next year. Or even if you're not in the area, you can always bring your kids up here too. Any other questions? We got one in here in the middle with Rebecca.
What is your favorite way to spend your lunchtime?
Favorite way to spend lunchtime?
I think my favorite way of spending lunchtime is probably hanging out with my friends, but if it's like something I need to get done, like work, then I think like sometimes our expression teacher lets us do lunch workshop, which is basically coming in at lunch, eating our lunch while we do our work that we need to make up for. But our expressions are what we consider as like expressive arts. So it's like all different types of arts combined into one class. And I feel that because she lets us go in there and hang out with our friends, like talking while we get work done, it allows a balance between having fun during lunch but also getting work done as well.
She liked your answer. Good job.
During lunch, I obviously scarf down all my food. And then I think that lunch is a good time to let out all my energy, because if I don't, then I let it out in class, and that's not good. So letting all my energy out during lunchtime.
Hanging out with my friends.
My favorite thing to do during lunchtime, if I have to get work done, I will go into the classroom and get my work done, get my lunch, go into the classroom. But I wouldn't say it's good to have to get your work done, but if you do and you go into the classroom, you have more time to spend with your teacher. And I feel spending time with your teacher is important, but also spending time with your friends is important. So if you can get your work done and spend time with your teacher and then go out and spend time with your friends, then that would be what I'd like to do with my lunchtime.
What I like to do during lunch is just hang out with my friends and socialize, and then eat my food and get some fresh air.
Recently, I haven't been able to go hang out with my friends because I'm always doing work, but I kind of enjoy doing work during lunch because when I get home, I know that I'll have all this work, or even in the next day of class, I wouldn't have to do extra work. I just have most of it done already.
All right. Maybe one more final closing question.
Given your experience in school so far, what has been the most useful thing you have learned?
It's a hard one, huh? Most useful thing you have learned in school up to this point.
The most useful thing I've learned in school is how to get from class to class, I think.
You can keep passing and we can come back to you if you'd like to.
Okay, so I think the most useful thing that I've learned in school is how to sit in a chair properly. You'd be surprised at how many people fall out of their chair during class. Yeah.
This is such a hard question to answer because in 8th grade, we learned so many things that we didn't learn from the years before. But I feel like just having an advanced skill in time management and just knowing the balance between your work and your friends is something that I really like about 8th grade that I've learned so far. So I think that's a really great opportunity, I guess.
You want to pass it back down to Connor there? Yeah, that's a good one.
For me, as I am going into the higher grades of school, I feel the most useful thing that I have been learning is my social skills and my public speaking abilities.
Yeah. Anyone else? Pass it over there to Ava.
The most useful thing I learned was about vulnerability and how vulnerable it is, and you don't even know you're vulnerable. So like when someone comes out to you, when someone tells you what's wrong, if someone tells you someone close to them died, like it's such a very vulnerable moment, and you learn how to be sympathetic towards them instead of, yeah.
All right. So, you guys should all be very proud of yourselves. You've done things that a lot of other students your age wouldn't do, right? So another round of applause. I think a lot of us know as adults it is hard to get up here and speak for many of us, right? And these kids were able to do it. So again, it really gives me some goosebumps, guys. And I'm like, you did such an awesome job. So kudos to you, all right? And hopefully think about, right? You have this voice and you're passionate, and it doesn't just have to stop here. So think about when you go back, my challenge to you is when you go back to your school communities, right? You've been empowered here to share your voice. How can you continue to do that and empower others? Whether that's your classmates, younger kids, older kids, your teachers, right? Remember that you have a voice. So, if you would like to steal this and do this same thing, please, there is the link. And with that, keep in mind, we will be doing this again next year, and be on the lookout for Spring Q. So, one more round of applause. We will give just a few minutes up here for any parents or any teachers that want to take pictures, and then we will be transitioning to the grown-up Q booms. You ready? All right. Thank you very much, and have a great day.